Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Neon and Beyond, now in its 21st year. I'm your host, Andy Kay. My guests this morning are Chip Carter and Brittany McCoy. Chip is the marketing director with Communities in Schools, and Brittany is resource development with Community in Schools. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Coming up is the third annual Fill the Bus event happening, Fill the Bus School Supply Drive. You know, this being August, everybody is doing a back-to-school school supply drive. And Lotus Broadcasting, Channel 3, and Communities in Schools will be doing their third annual already. First, give me a little background on Communities in Schools.
So Communities in Schools of Nevada is the local affiliate to the nation's leading dropout prevention program. So here in Southern Nevada, we are actually slated for 43 schools this upcoming school year. In Northern Nevada, in Elko, we are in 5 schools, and in Reno, we'll be going into 4 schools. Is that accurate? Yeah. And what we do is we work with students that are dealing with challenges that are symptoms of poverty. So they have a lack of basic needs, whether that's food, clothing, shelter, all the way to love, support, someone who's home, someone who checks their homework and talks to them and checks in with them. And we place site coordinators on the school campuses to just make sure that those kids who need extra support are connected with whatever resources they need to remove any challenges they may be facing.
Basically, we just try and do whatever it takes to keep kids in school so that they have a chance to graduate and succeed in life.
Right.
Communities in Schools, you have a lot of after-school programs?
You know what? We partner with a nonprofit locally that provides after-school programs at, I believe we overlap at 1 or 2 schools. But our main focus is we have a site coordinator that is on the school campus full-time, so they are there during school hours. They have a CIS resource room, which has basic needs that range from food, clothing, to school supplies, toiletries, that any student who goes to that school can actually use. So they can walk in and say, my shirt is dirty, I need a new shirt, or I'm hungry, can I have a snack? Or I have no pen and pencil, I need a notebook. And so we provide those basic needs. And then our site coordinators work to case manage a certain percentage of the school population that need more one-on-one support. So that can look like goal setting, grade tracking, pretty much saying, okay, you're here now, you need to be here, what steps need to be taken to get you there, and really kind of becoming a pseudo-parent to these kids who may be lacking in the support that's coming from home or whatever is
for younger kids, it can be something like reading, just going out playing with the kids at recess and stuff like that. For older kids, a lot of times it's figuring out scholarships. It's getting even cap and gown fees paid for, things like that. So we are, what a lot of people don't know and what I didn't know until I started was we see dropouts happen at almost any time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that is due to poverty, because if a kid, especially like a younger elementary school kid, does not have enough uniforms to go to school every day, mm-hmm. and they come in dirty, they get turned home, eventually that cycle just leads to
them not coming.
I'm not coming back anymore.
Yeah,
right?
and so kids who live in poverty are 6 times more likely to drop out of school. And that comes from really a lack of resources and a lack of kind of perspective of what is actually out there. So at CIS, we talk about your dropout moment. So when is that moment that these kids say, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm not going to do it. And that doesn't come just one day. It comes from years of falling behind, years of feeling like nobody sees you. Maybe your whoever is at home is not telling you that you can graduate, that you can go to college, that there are things for you out there. So we work with kids who the majority are living in poverty, and it's usually generational poverty, and with that comes a silo. So we have families that are living in what I refer to as survival mode. So they are not talking to their kids about college or their future. They're worrying about how to keep the lights on, how to feed them, where do they live tomorrow. And so when you have those kinds of traumas going on in the home, the child is not getting the perspective that they could have if someone was saying to them, when you graduate and go on to college, this is what you can be, or talking to them about their options. And when you create options for yourself, you have power. And so that is part of our program, is to kind of broaden that frame of reference and let these kids know that they can be something past what they see in their 4 walls. We had a 5th grade class that one of our site coordinators was working with to do a career fair. And he said to them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they all said the taco man, the mailman, the ice cream man.
Yeah.
It was all things that they see within their neighborhood.
Yeah.
So their frame of reference is very, very, very small. So part of our program is to come in and say, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a chef, you can be whatever you want to be, and that. But this is what it takes to get you there. And really, our site coordinators become pseudo-parents for these kids. And there are multiple reasons why these kids may not have the support at home. They could have the support, but maybe...
But a parent could be working 2 or 3 jobs.
Or maybe there's multiple kids in the home,
Right.
like 6 or 7 kids. Or the parents are just overwhelmed and not sure how to navigate it. And so our site coordinators can come in and work with the family and the student to make sure that whatever challenges they're facing, whatever is kind of in their way, is removed. And that's not the reason why they're not able to be at school and focus and perform. And it's also helping the schools, because you hear now quite often about teachers who are having to
Pay for things out of their own pocket.
Right.
Yes,
And have a food pantry in their classroom.
Yeah.
And be the counselor and be the mother and be the social worker. So when CIS is on the school campus, we really take that burden off of the teachers so that they can focus on what they're supposed to be doing, which is teaching, and the students can focus on learning. And anything else that is going on, refer to us and we will take care of. And we'll remove those challenges so that these kids can come to school, they can feel safe, and they can know that whatever is needed is going to be taken care of, and really providing them with a person who is consistent, who's always going to be there, who checks on them, who they know, if I don't show up today, my CIS site coordinator will notice, and I'm going to make sure that I show up. It's about getting there and then doing the work and all that.
And I was going to say, one of the things that we've seen over and over is that the kids that we help, they tend to want to come back into professions that help others. Like, because what sparked me remembering that was when you were saying, you know, they don't know what they can be, ice cream man or whatever. They go through CIS, they get the help, and now they realize that they can be paramedics, EMTs, parole officers. And we hear that from them because what they want to do is help other kids that have been through what they've been through.
Yeah. And when you talk about kind of their frame of reference, we 2 years ago, we had a field trip that we planned for some, I think it was either juniors or seniors at one of our high schools, and they were going to go to UNLV. And we had one kid ask how many hours they were going to be on the bus to take them to UNLV. So she had no idea that UNLV was a major university that was a few blocks from where she lived. So she went there, and then now she's going there, and she's getting her college degree. But that comes from kind of to broaden their frame of reference. Like, there are things that you can do for yourself outside of whatever you may not know.
Outside of those 4 walls.
Outside of those 4 walls, yeah. And, you know, really at our core, we are a dropout prevention program, but we really are a poverty program, because the students that we work with, I want to say somewhere in the 80% range are living in poverty. And so really it's about getting to those families and helping them with whatever is needed, and just making sure that if you have to wear a uniform shirt to school, but there's no washer and dryer at home, that your dirty shirt is not the reason why you're not coming to school. We have site coordinators that will take kids' clothes home and wash them and bring them back to school. Oh. I mean, really just doing whatever it takes to make sure that these things that are happening outside of school are not the reason why they're not at school.
The bottom line is that the reason the majority of the kids are not coming to school? Because
I think there's a lot of reasons. You know, we have kids, when you're talking about like the middle school age, sometimes you find if a family has multiple kids, maybe they need to stay home and help watch the younger ones. Mm-hmm. I think at the high school level, if you have parents that are working different shifts and you're kind of like 2 ships passing in the night, like there's never a connection. I know when I was a teenager, the only reason why I really went to school because I had friends and I wanted to be social, right? But maybe if you don't have that and there's no one pushing you, then what is going to keep you going.
Yeah.
And at the younger level, I think what we mostly see is you do sometimes have kids who don't come, let's say, because they don't have a coat and it's cold outside and they have to walk to school. So those are these like kind of small things that we see as being very, very small, but for them, it's everything. If you have kids who have one pair of shoes and their shoes are falling apart and they have to walk 2 miles to school, they're most likely not going to come.
Yeah.
And also, you know, kids are not always nice. And so you get teased if you don't have what others have. I always think back to when I first started at CIS, it was kind of serendipitous, but our daughter, who's now 12 and she's in middle school, was going into 4th grade. And we had pulled her out of a private school to put her in a magnet school located on D Street. And that was a big choice for us. And we were like, okay, this is great. And so first day of school, you know, she had everything she needed. She had her new backpack, her new shoes, her new clothes. I mean, her backpack was stuffed to the brims with whatever you needed. And she went to go line up and she says to me, Mommy, why does that boy have a trash bag? Where's his backpack? And I look over and there's a little boy who lined up right behind her who was dragging a trash bag. And his head was hanging. And I looked around and all the other kids, most of them had their backpacks and were like ready to go and feeling good about school. And this kid was there with a trash bag and like a pencil and a notebook in the trash bag. And that was his backpack. And it really struck me about how those small things shape how you feel towards school. And when you are that young, it's crucial for you to want to be there, for school to be something that's fun. Right. And that's really when we talk about dropout moment, that's when that mindset
kind of thing starts. Yeah.
Because it starts, let's say that we did not, and by the way, we had a CIS site coordinator on that school campus who made sure that he got a backpack and that he got everything he needed. But let's say that resource is not there and this student keeps coming to school every day and he doesn't have what he needs, and kids start to ask him why and tease him. Yeah. And what does that do to your self-esteem and how you feel towards school? And if that kind of thing keeps going, then you hit your dropout moment. And that could be in 5 more years, that could be in 10 years. But that's going to happen because how you feel towards school and how what that does to your self-esteem and self-worth is critical at that age.
So we do a lot of things that it's sometimes hard. We say it's wraparound services or integrated student services. We do so many different types of things to address that and keep those dropout moments from happening. And it's hard to hear or be involved in a story like that of need and not be affected by that and not want to try and do something more about that, which is why we do the events like Fill the Bus. We do events that are just purely fundraisers, but this one's kind of special because it's so tangible. Everybody can understand getting a kid a backpack and a notebook and pencils and things like that. Those are very concrete things that people can see and understand. Yeah. So I think that's why the public really does respond to this kind of thing. And we have more need than ever before. We're in more schools this year? 7 more schools.
Yes, we were in 35 schools last year. We're going into 7 more. We've gone through a pretty rapid expansion since when I came on board. I believe it was 2012, and we had just come out of a school year in 8 schools, went into 12 schools, 20 schools, 35. Now we're in 43. So the growth is pretty significant. The need is even greater than what we can keep up with. But Fill the Bus is crucial because what we do is we collect all of the school supplies, and then the school supplies goes to our warehouse, and our site coordinators come and take everything that they need to stock their resource rooms full. And I will tell you that we fill our warehouse to the brim. And we went back to go look at it last month to prepare for Fill the Bus, and there's nothing in there. I mean, every single pencil, everything is used. And it's crucial because these kids, the families don't have the money to provide everything that they need. And if they need a notebook, maybe they left their notebook at home, whatever the reason, we want to make sure that they have that so that they can go right back to class.
It's also a way that we identify, like any student in the school can come and ask for supplies or snacks. But that is also, if it's a consistent thing, the site coordinator can say, that student keeps coming in all the time needing something, so there may be something else going on, and kind of can do a little research. We get referrals from the counselors or teachers or the administration office, but also sometimes there's students that don't really want to come forward with that kind of information. So it's just they start coming in, and so the site coordinator.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of self-referrals. So especially at like the middle school, high school level, maybe a kid has come in and we've helped them with food, and then they have a friend who's having the same kind of challenges, and they'll say to them, you should go and see so-and-so at CIS. They can really help you.
Well, to help this need, tell us about the upcoming Fill the Bus drive, their locations.
Fill the Bus, we are going to be at the Arroyo Crossing Parkway parking lot over between Sam's Club and Walmart, and that is on Friday, August 21st. And we'll be there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll be there earlier.
We're there like 5 a.m., but we're there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. collecting school supplies. We have school buses from CCSD. They are a great partner with this program, and
they are so awesome.
They're amazing.
They were so great.
Their drivers come out and they like pack everything. They are with us from beginning to end. They help us move everything. I mean, it's a pretty massive event when you think about what needs to be done. But essentially, we are out there. We're parked between the Sam's Club and Walmart in that parking lot. Yeah. And 97.1 The Point will be out there doing live broadcasts all day. Yay! Right. Thank you to Lotus Broadcasting. And then Channel 3 is our other media partner, and they come out and do live shots and help promote. And so we are there to collect school supplies. We'll have little kind of school supply lists that we can give you when you walk up, so you can go into Walmart or Sam's Club or wherever and come back. Last year, we filled 3 school buses, which was phenomenal. And then this year, the goal is 4.
I'm saying 5, but
he's saying
Brittany's
5.
Trying to be conservative. I'm saying 5.
I'm always like, let's just be conservative, and then when we really do it.
So everybody out there, help me out. I need 5 school buses.
And then, so on Friday, we are at Arroyo Crossing, and then on Saturday
we are at the Sam's Club on Eastern and Serene.
And we'll be there from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
8 to 5, yeah.
And we just ask everyone to come out and support. And I mean, honestly, I know I talk to, because I'm in fundraising, and I talk to lots of people who feel like if they can't give big money or give like so much, it doesn't make a difference. But I'm here to tell you, every pencil, every marker, every glue stick makes a difference. And I have seen it firsthand where we've had kids come in to the resource room while I'm there, and they will utilize the stuff that we collected. And I know that it's the stuff that we collected because there was one batch of colored pencils that was in a white case, and it was different, and we got like 200 of these packs. Yeah. And these kids came in, and I think they handed out 3 or 4 right there to these kids. So it's great to be able to work somewhere where you can actually see the change and the impact happening like right before your eyes.
And also on that Saturday, we will have one of our community partners, I Care for Kids, will be out there with their mobile eye screening unit. And that's, I can't say enough about them either, because it's amazing to me that when they go to our middle and high school, they go to the schools and they are swamped with people, getting eye screenings. And there are so many students
who don't have it,
and they can't afford eye care.
Can't afford it,
or maybe can't see, and so you can understand why they don't pay attention in class.
A few years ago, we actually had a 3rd grader who was referred to us because of behavioral problems, and our site coordinator sat with them and talked with the family, what's going on, and then come to figure out that she could not see the board. Wow! And she was frustrated, and so we sent her to get her eyes checked, got her glasses, and within, I want to say 3 to 4 months, her behavior had turned around completely. Now, without that kind of intervention, what probably would have happened is she would have kept going on to the next grade level, still had behavioral problems, and then at a certain point been referred to some kind of behavioral school and probably dropped out. Yeah. And those are those very simple things that either the families may not know or they don't have the resources to make that happen. And we can come in, and the whole concept behind communities in schools is, number 1, to provide these kids with a one-on-one relationship with someone who is consistent. Number 2 is to take all of the amazing resources that we have throughout our community and bring them to the actual school. So we don't duplicate services. We don't try to be the food pantry. We partner with 3 Square to bring the food in to make sure that that resource is there. And so that's one of the things that I think is so unique about CIS is that we don't duplicate. We're not here to say we're going to be the best housing placement. We partner with that resource to bring it to the school. So it's not, here's a phone number and call them and figure it out. It's the resource is here for you. Let me make this phone call. Let me connect your family with who they need. And then let me give you what you need so that you can get back to class.
It's all about resources helping resources.
It is.
And the bottom line is our children in our community.
Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing. In case you're just tuning in, this is Neon and Beyond. My guests are Brittany McCoy, Resource Development with Communities and Schools, and Chip Carter, Marketing Director with Communities and Schools, talking about the upcoming Fill the Bus event happening the 21st and 22nd. The 21st, August 21st, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the parking lot at Sam's Club at Royal Crossing Parkway. That's Friday. And Saturday, the 22nd, Sam's Club parking lot, 2:15 in Eastern from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. You filled 3 buses last year, looking at 4.
I won 5.
5. and now, what are some of the basic back to school supplies kids are using these days?
It really not much has changed. I mean, it's backpacks. Pencils, pens, protractors. I don't know why that popped in my head. I'm not a geometry person, but
so
protractors.
we've actually calculated that to fill a backpack with the school supplies that we need, it's roughly about $20 to $25 for the whole package. So it's actually pretty
very affordable.
Right.
Reasonable. And I mean, we are in how many elementary schools? We were in 26 or 27 elementary schools last year. So at that level, we're talking crayons, colored pencils, glue sticks, that kind of stuff.
Scissors,
notebooks, college
pens,
ruled, wide ruled for the younger kids, pens,
portfolios, and uniforms. I mean, that is for the elementary schools. It is the big thing is for uniforms. They
have to wear a collared shirt.
Okay.
Certain colors.
Shorts. Yeah. We have a list on our website, which is cisnevada.org, of all the different items, the most requested, and then also the types of uniforms, the polos and the khaki shorts or pants that we can use.
And you can also give, let's say you don't have time to go buy everything, you can also stop by and give monetarily as well, because you can do a Walmart gift card or cash or a check, because that just lets our site coordinators go and purchase exactly what these kids need.
That's helpful.
That's a huge help for us. Yeah.
So you don't have to worry. So if you're out and about today, listeners, getting done with today's morning paper and all the ads in there, and back to school this and back to school that, keep in mind Walmart always has great deals this time of year, year round. But for back to school, Walmart is there, and if you don't have time to pick up extra stuff, just like Brittany mentioned, pick up a gift card and make sure you stop by one of the back to school locations the 21st and 22nd. This is something that's a great need in our community. Our community is so generous when it comes to this, helping our children, the challenged children in our communities. And now, getting back to the children who may not be getting the help that they need, and maybe there's a parent listening this morning, perhaps on their way to work, on the way to their second or third job, going like, well, I realize that this is a situation that they're having. How would they get their children involved with the community and schools program? Would they go to their counselors? So start there?
Well, so we'll be on 43 school campuses locally. And so our services, our program is operational on those school campuses. So if your student goes to that school, they can use our resources.
Okay.
And you can find out which schools we're in by going to our website. They're all listed. You can also ask the school office or the counselor, is CIS here? Yeah. And that's how you can use our resources.
Parents now getting back to school, re-registering their kids, or maybe going to a new school in a different neighborhood, so this is pretty much the time. This week, is pretty much,
it's right there.
It's right there.
It's
right
there.
Time,
I know it's happening. It's quick.
It's here,
it comes quick.
Yeah, it comes quick.
It comes quick.
And parents are running around and getting their children registered for class. So you could ask.
Definitely ask. And if we are there to serve the whole school campus, and then also really kind of give one-on-one work with certain kids, but we are there for the whole school campus, and any student can come into the resource room and use whatever resources we have. We have computers and all that kind of stuff.
Great. That is great. So just back to school supplies. You mentioned food pantries earlier. Are you collecting any foodstuffs, or is it just back to school
Normally,
stuff right now?
I mean,
uniforms?
look, we never say no. We will take
yeah,
whatever
right,
you
bring
have.
It all, yeah.
But we partner with Project 150 and Three Square to provide food for our schools. We do have a partnership with Goodwill, where, and this is something that a lot of people don't know, but this is huge for us. You can, when you go drop off your whatever you're bringing in, you can say, can you please allocate this to CIS, or I call CIS, Communities in Schools, and they will weigh it, and for every, I think it's every pound, we get a certain dollar back. So they will turn that around and provide us with gift cards, which we use for our kids. Because we have a lot of kids that come in, and let's say that their need is that like the family just moved and they have nothing. We can give them some gift cards to get some stuff for their kitchens, that kind of stuff.
Great.
So those are huge. We had one student a few years ago who she was actually doing very well in school, good grades. She was coming to school, and then all of a sudden she kind of stopped coming. Behavior started to be kind of a problem, and the teachers were like, what is going on? She kind of did this kind of 180, and she was referred to us, and in talking with her, we found out that she was living in a 1-bedroom with 7 people. She had no soap for herself. And she only had 1 pair of jeans and a few shirts. So we were able to give her gift cards to Goodwill to go shopping, and that was really, really great because that kind of gives them a sense of normalcy. So it's not just here's your used clothing. It's go shop for yourself, feel good about it, pick something out that you feel good in. And so those are key for us. We use them year round. Yeah. So that is a partnership. If you ever go to Goodwill to drop things off, just tell them
especially your heavy stuff. Your sofas.
It's all about pounds. Yeah. So that's huge for us, and it's a great partnership that we have that just returns to our kids.
Listeners can do that unknowingly. You're cleaning out your garage, and
I will tell you, I did not know that. And I was always bringing stuff there. And now whenever I go, it does take a little more time because they got to, do it, fill out the piece of paper. But it's probably 5 minutes more. And it's turning around and going right to our kids who need it most. So
I'm going there. I'm going there at least once a month when I'm cleaning out my garage,
exactly.
and I'm just okay. Here you go, go, and I never knew that.
Yeah.
That is spectacular.
That.
Oh, thanks to Goodwill for that.
Yeah,
it's just resources, partners in our community, just helping each other out for the sake of our children in the community.
Yeah,
that is fantastic. All right, we got a couple of minutes left. Let's go over the locations again.
Okay.
For the Fill the Bus event happening.
Yeah. So again, on the Friday, the 21st. We will be at the Arroyo Crossing Parkway, which is 7100 Arroyo Crossing Parkway. We'll be in between Sam's Club and Walmart, and we'll be there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then Saturday, August 22nd, we will be at the Sam's Club at 2310 East Serene in Henderson, and that's the corner of Eastern and Serene.
Okay, so the 21st, the Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., on that last weekend before classes begin on that Monday. So go on out there, and if you're, like I said, you're reading the paper today, you're getting ready to go out, do some shopping, pick up some gift cards, and go to cisnevada.org for a list of items that will be needed for the Fill the Bus school supply drive, along with Channel 3 and your friends at 97.1 The Point. Go out there and say hello to your favorite Point personality. They'll all be out there all day long, and pick up some swag from those guys. As I'm sure they'll have out there, and some great music there to get you in the shopping spirit to help out our children as they head back for another full year of education, and get them started on the right foot. So if you're prepared, if anybody that's prepared makes them a better student and a better employee.
Can I just give a shout out?
Sure.
We have 28 partners this year, which are business partners that are throughout the Las Vegas community that come together. And I'd love to give a shout out to Allegiant Air, the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, Sands Cares, Pawn Stars, Sammy's Woodfire. I mean, we have so many key partners that make this possible.
All right. I want to thank you, Brittany McCoy and Chip Carter from Communities in Schools. Thanks so much for coming on. And we'll see you at the Fill the Bus School Supply Drive next weekend. I'm Andy Kay for Neon and Beyond. As always, thanks for listening.